Good morning. It's Robbie K here with yet another pre-review in the Robbie Movie Review escapades. Today we're going to do a pre-review on the latest in Marvel sensation, Ant-Man and Wasp, which will hopefully turn out to be kind of the hit smash that the first one was. But like always with pre-reviews, before we kind of go in, let's talk about how the first series went, and then kind of go from there in terms of hopes and expectations. Now, in regards to what the first one was, Ant-Man turned out to be a very big surprise for me in regards to the Marvel movies. I can't lie that when they first announced the installment, I didn't get that excited because it wasn't the toe-tapping Avengers, a continuation of one of their stories in terms of their own individual movies, or even the introduction of a new superhero that I was totally stoked for, like they were for Spider-Man or Black Panther. You know, Ant-Man was kind of one of these guys I really didn't have much venture in because, seeing as I'm just kind of getting into the comic books, I wasn't fully into knowing about his history, learning about the adventures of him, or the integration into a Marvel universe. So that's kind of why when the movie came out, I didn't know where it was going to fit. I didn't know how it was going to be in terms of an origin movie. I didn't know what it was going to be in terms of action or whatnot. Fortunately, I was very surprised. For if you haven't seen the first Ant-Man, it's totally one of the more, I guess you can kind of say, all age-appropriate friendliness, as well as just a very, very, very fun time in regards to the atmosphere of the movie. When you go through, and again, at this point there are going to be spoilers, but hey, it's fair game since it was out almost 7 years ago? No, I'm sorry, I'm getting my math wrong. It's been out for quite some time because it was 2015, so about 3 years ago. So it's free game. Anyway, not to ramble like an idiot like I was just doing. The first Ant-Man turned out to be wholly fun. It was, first of all, a fantastic comedy brought about by not only the writing, but also the acting, primarily with Paul Rudd and Michael Pena being fantastic additions to the Marvel family. It was balanced out by Evangeline Lilly playing kind of the stalwart, awesome, no-nonsense, but had plenty of action, Hope Van Dyne. I absolutely love Michael Douglas's rendition of Hank Pym, and I gotta give the guy who played the main villain some props, even though Yellow Jacket's portrayal wasn't probably my favorite of the bunch. Anyway, still fine for me. Regardless, it was a good balance of kind of action training and a good origin story that really kind of took us out of the intense Avengers 2 phase, yet bridged us to the next Civil War phase. So it was a good filler movie, which I feel this next one's going to be. There was good pace with it. It was fun. It was, again, a nice, steady transition from no-name hero who discovers something to being this awesome battle-born hero. I love the use of the ants, the kind of use of the strategic Mission Impossible like break-in, meeting again the comedy and action aspect. So I felt it was a very well done script and a very well adapted script. When the final battle came in, it gave you your props again because it was this very, very good balance that the writers and directors were able to obtain. The combination of using the small and enlarging sizes with fist comedy, laser shooting, using everyday objects as kind of miniature impromptu weapons, while ants were all about trying to be the supporting troops in this battle of titans. And it just overall executed very well. Now, is it the best and my favorite? I can't say it is, but it still did a lot better than I expected. Now we can kind of go off of where my hopes and expectations are for this movie. First of all, now that we're into the actual pre-review, there's a shout-out to my main friend at the movie, Mary, and her, of course, father, who has helped her with a lot of transitions over the last few months. This is a shout-out to Bill, or William, whatever he prefers. Regardless, with them at their request, I felt that this was a good one since it's kind of a family-oriented movie to throw the family in there with it. So hopefully they'll enjoy this. movie coming up. Now, where are the hopes? No pun intended. And where are the what are the expectations for it? Well, the hopes is that they'll maintain that balance again. Ant-Man and Wasp will hopefully be a combination of good comedy blended with a very well bout of exciting action, a decent story character development for them, and potentially juggling 3 storylines that are coming with it. The first being Scott's relationship with just about everyone in regards to his daughter, his ex-wife, and of course his new kind of work and crime family with Luis, as well as Hope and Hank. I'm really hoping for some kind of extensions onto there, as well as the introduction of new relationships, primarily in Lawrence Fishburne's Goliath. Now, I'm not going to lie, I would have liked to see a younger Goliath come in, because I think that could have been an interesting dynamic and a way to potentially bridge to new shows, which it could easily be a prequel, don't get me wrong, if they decide to go the Goliath route. But I am glad that they have Lawrence Fishburne, and I hope they utilize him very well, unlike the way they used him in Predators, which just wasn't my favorite direction. Regardless, the next thing I'm hoping is that there will be a good... The next story I hope that they look for is a good ghost origin story. I don't want this just random psychopath component with it. I want, like, the Yellow Jacket one, making a pertinent connection to understand where its place is. That's going to potentially lead to long cascades, or potentially suggest that the overall Marvel Cinematic Universe. And, of course, I absolutely am hoping that there will be a tie-in to the Avengers arc, because this is supposedly occurring during the whole Avengers Infinity War, and or at least there will be some alliteration as to what's happening, because, again, he and Hawkeye were absent. So let's see what happens from there. Regardless, I'm really looking for some very clever, very good action scenes to come in. The movie already shows some potential with it. I just hope that they don't become these small bouts that last only 3 minutes, and really looking for at least an exciting climactic fight here or there. Good examples of that would be like in The Winter Soldier. Bouts that last about 10 to 15 minutes until the epic conclusion at the end. At least that's my preference. If Disney kind of goes down the, we're going to just do these kind of small skirmishes with maybe a 10-minute fight, probably not my biggest thing, but it just depends on the execution. I'm hoping for witty dialogue. That was the one thing, is that Ant-Man had stupid comedy for pun, but it also had some wit behind it. And it makes it a very fun movie because of that, with all the balance. And that's what I want. I want the movie to be fun, and I want the movie to not be a diluted sequel that sometimes comes out of the studios when they're just looking to make a quick buck. AKA Thor: The Dark World, which I think had a lot more potential until all the director changes and the fact that it seems the Marvel Cinematic Company had a few issues with relinquishing control to other directors, which again, very similar to what I want with the movies. I want balance between the two. Iron rules and iron grips sometimes don't make for the best movies, but hell, when they make as much in terms of when you make as much as they do in regards to merchandising and stuff, I guess they really don't give a crap. Anyway, in terms of trying to make a quality movie, which is what my goal as a reviewer is to help with, is, again, go back and look at the roots of what made the first movie extremely fun and extremely balanced. Yes, this is a filler movie. There's not going to be a lot of expectations in regards to what Infinity War did, which, again, for many, they loved it. For me, I felt it delivered on some, but we're going to go down that pathway when I continue making my Marvel countdown video and review, which we're working on, I think, movie number 4 for that, so we'll gradually introduce those soon. Anyway, Ant-Man and Wasp's expectations. Well, I expect it to be nothing but a lot of slapstick, one-liners, and a lot of forced comedy. It seems that is Disney's ticket to pulling in more people, is the comedy ticket, which is shove your face with so much comedy, you can't take it. And I expect that to happen. Potentially to annoying levels, depending on if they can curb the writing. But seeing as Solo was a little forced at times in terms of its comedic relief, I have a feeling the same thing is going to happen here. I do actually expect good fight scenes, but I do expect them to probably be these kind of hashtag moments because they want to do more comedy than an actual fighting movie. I expect the stories to kind of be a mixture of quality versus just quantity. This quantum realm thing is potentially going to be a big component, especially reading the junior novelization, to which I just is a prequel to the movie. It looks like they're going to be harping on that for a component of trying to go through the quantum realm a little more, perhaps find Hope's mom, seeing as that was a big alliteration in the first one, and doing the quantum realm would potentially mean a search for her. So we're really going to be looking in regards to that and finding out which of them is going to take the cake versus which are going to be put on the back burner. I don't know. It seems they're juggling a lot of stories, and we just got to watch that to make sure they don't become two chopped up mini stories packed into one, aka like they did with Solo. I expect the acting to probably be really good. Paul Rudd is usually a staple in being a consistent comedian actor. Michael Pena's character is most likely going to be extremely funny, and with any luck, they will really do a good job of bringing that same factor that was really good, which is well-timed comedy. I expect that they'll probably do a decent job there. I expect there's going to be little to do with Lawrence Fishburne, and I expect that there will be a small tagline to the Infinity, probably in a post-credit scene, to give us a hint at what the next thing is, whether that be in Avengers Infinity War Part 2, or potentially looking at suggesting a new series. Maybe Captain Marvel's movie will get another tip-off, or perhaps another hero that we're not expecting. Anyway, overall, I expect the movie to still be fun as well. Again, these are movies that act as fillers that somehow still pertain to the story. So we're just waiting to see where it expands upon. Now, overall, we're going to, of course, be seeing this tomorrow, so look for a video review tomorrow night. And, you know, kudos to them actually allowing a 6 o'clock release date the night before. I think that's going to be very smart in regards to grouping more people together in terms of audiences. And, of course, it'll allow me to get my review out earlier. So, regardless, we're going to find out how it looks. We have hopes. We have expectations. We have the ability to make another great filler movie to hopefully bring us out of kind of the spiraling either depression that you might have felt at the end of Avengers Infinity War, or perhaps looking to at least get your Marvel kick, Marvel addiction appeased until we get Venom in October. Anyway, guys, this is Robbie's Movies Reviews for pre-reviews. Peacing out. We will see you guys tomorrow. And as always, make suggestions, share, like, what can I do to make the movies better? What can I do? And what topics do you want to hear me discuss? Although I'll try to avoid politics as much as possible. Anyway, again, shout out to my buddy William, whatever he prefers. And we'll go from there. Bye, guys.